Welcome back, a very warm welcome back to Minus 16, the tech podcast where we love talking about the business of YouTube as well. It's been a while, it's been a moment, but we're back. Daniel, I was going to say how are you, but having just chatted to you beforehand, I kind of know how you are.
I think it's quicker if I tell you how I'm not, and I'll just say good.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Daniel's mid-move. I think probably the next time we record a podcast, he'll be in his new studio space. So there's a lot going on at the Scuteri household right now, right?
Yeah. I mean, we haven't really started packing up here yet, which is a bit of a concern. But we're in an apartment, so it's not too much to pack up and take over. So it should be okay.
And I've just seen a picture of your new place. It looks lovely. I think you're going to be so happy there with all that extra space. It's going to be a godsend, right?
And the pool heading into summer, because we're a summer year.
Flex.
Yeah.
You've got a pool.
It was 41 degrees 2 weeks ago. It was disgusting how hot it was. But
just to very briefly mention, before we get into the actual meat and veg of the podcast, of course, when we next talk, we'll probably be 1-0 up in the Ashes as well. So all is good.
I doubt it.
You haven't got Cummins. You don't stand a chance.
We'll just
like
see.
Stuart Broad said, the weakest Australian side since 2011.
Come on, Stuart.
Yeah, good luck. So let's get back to tech, shall we? There's quite a lot to talk about. We're going to go through a number of things. We're going to kick off in a moment with why you switched back to your S25 Ultra from having tried the iPhone. We're going to talk about the yearly upgrade cycles that the tech companies seem hell-bent on giving us, and is it really worth our time or their time? We're going to talk very briefly about iOS 26.2 beta that's been launched and the Blackmagic app. We've just got loads to talk about and the stuff in the YouTube studios where we want to cover. So, I saw your video about why you switched back. I know you gave the iPhone a fairly good run, and by no means were you saying it was all bad. So just, if people haven't seen that video, just talk us through what sort of spurred on those choices.
The switch back, because I'll be perfectly upfront and honest, the iPhone was my second phone, or at least it was the phone in my other pocket. I didn't change from my Fold 7. I just couldn't. I can't, and I'm being totally upfront and honest about that. But the Ultra was my other phone, and then I switched to the iPhone. And at the start, it wasn't more than this is just going to be in my pocket for a week. I'll return it, and then we'll go from there. And then I think there was some excitement of finding something new to use that I liked about the iPhone. But then it very quickly dawned on me, like maybe 2 or 3 weeks in, that there's just nothing here for me. And as much as it's my second phone at the moment, and I could get away with it just being a second phone, I use my second phone a lot. You know, whether it's a phone to shoot B-roll with, or whether it's a phone to browse social media with, while the other one maybe is more email focused. Mm-hmm. I have a lot of use for it. And what I was finding is that I just couldn't do what I wanted to do on it efficiently enough. So it was just not the type of phone that was working for me. And then I outlined in the video why it was like that. It's just because One UI kind of caters for so many things that I just maybe took for granted, or just thought that maybe Apple had, like a clipboard history. Like iPhones don't have that. And that was Mac something that was really baffling to me. Mac now does. Windows have had it for a while, but it's like you've got to press like some shortcut keys or hotkeys to activate it. It's a whole thing, whereas it's just there on Samsung. You know, and the universal back gesture was another one. The number pad and the keyboard was another one. Special characters in the keyboard, where you could long press and bring up the alternate character or a special character or an exclamation mark without having to go to that area of the keyboard. There's just little tangible things, small details that you can physically interact with that were just missing. And I'm sure Apple have things that Samsung don't, but the things that I value were on One UI. So that's just why it was easier just to switch back.
Yeah. I imagine it'd be similar. I mean, I've said to you, it's been no secret. When I've looked at your videos of Samsung and One UI, it actually looks really attractive to use. It looks a really clean UI, and there's elements of it I really like the look of. But I think you're kind of describing part of the situation I'd have. I'd be too slow, too cumbersome, missing too much. My muscle memory wouldn't be good enough to think, what do I need to do? If that was my second phone, having a second phone needs to just be almost an extension of your first phone, doesn't it? You know, I've been carrying around the Air recently because it's basically the same, but just a slimmer version. I know what to do with it. But it's really intriguing. I found it really refreshing, though, that it just didn't come out and slam the iPhone. I know there were elements of it that you liked. And sure, at your core, you're a diehard Samsung user, and that's a choice you've made over years, and your whole life and your work is centered around that workflow now. So it kind of makes sense that it would have had to been something cataclysmically wonderful with iPhone and iOS to draw you away from that. And it isn't there. I get that.
I think because I don't have, and I made it clear in my review of the iPhone that I was reviewing it without its friends. So like I know, and a lot of Apple reviews and Apple focus channels and just people who use iPhones, they have the AirPods, they have the iPads, they have the MacBook, they have the extension of the ecosystem to sort of fall back on.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very clear that I was not going to rely on that to review the phone itself, because the phone needed to stand on its own 2 feet without needing the ecosystem of products or without me needing to invest a further $2,000 or $3,000 just to make the phone work better. I didn't want it to do that. So whilst, that was a perfect example that was on the screen then, like the dock, you cannot add an extra app if you want to take advantage of the screens. You got the 4. And the phone that's that big, 6.9 inches in screen size, to me, it's a limitation just for the sake of limitation. With Samsung, you don't really have those limitations. And, it's an operating system and there's guidelines on how to use it. And there's tutorials and all that sort of stuff. But within that framework, there is built-in freedom to allow you to work within extra parameters. iPhones just don't allow for those extra parameters to exist. And that was the frustrating part for me. If I wanted to change something, I couldn't. And I didn't appreciate that because I couldn't just go and do something that I wanted to do.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say, even though there's been changes with iOS recently to make it a little bit more user adaptable and be able to tailor it and personalize it, it still isn't where One UI is. I totally get that. And, the point you make about the icons in the dock, absolutely. That you are where you are. You can have less, but you can't have more. And even where you can reposition apps and so on your screen, you're kind of governed. Yes, you can lay them out into pretty little sections and so on, but it's still very much that grid formula of where it has to fall. Which, it doesn't affect me too much the way I'm using my phone, but I get that I think I might say that part of a very large part of the appeal with using something like One UI is that you can really niche down and make it as personal and as yours and as unique that it wouldn't be the same as anybody else's.
Yeah. And I know there is ways of iPhones to enabling things like that, but there's some really convoluted processes to get there. Mm-hmm. Some of the third-party apps that you need to take screenshots of your wallpaper, you need to put it through the third-party app, and then you need to change all the icons. It doesn't change the size of the icons. You just got to actually physically load in an individual icon that's smaller, and it doesn't change the grid. It's just things that extensions you have to do there. Whereas One UI and Good Lock, it's kind of all built in as part of it. There's a toggle and you're done. That's not to say that iOS didn't have its advantages. Like iOS is, as I said in the review, there's no second guessing yourself. Like you don't have to go, which action gets me here, which action gets me there. How do I get, there's only one direct way of doing something and there's no two ways about it. And in some ways, that's a very simplistic, easy way of just using a phone because you don't have to think about it. Once you built that muscle memory over since they removed the home button, there's no extra steps you've got to remember. But then they're bringing in things like the action button and the camera control, and it's starting to go very convoluted with the extra buttons and hardware that they're putting in.
Well, you made that point last time, and I didn't realize how many buttons we've got on an iPhone. It wasn't until you said it last time when you showed the S25 and how free it was. I think you got one, is it? Is it the power button you've got?
The power button, that's called the side button because it launches Gemini, and then double press will launch the camera. And then I've got the volume buttons, and even they're programmable. The volume buttons, you can program them to do things as well.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It is. And you said about one way to do things recently. I mean, I've made a point of recent, we might get to talk about it later on, where I haven't really been sitting there thinking about details of the phone. I've actually decided to go and use the thing, just get out and bloody use the thing, really hammer it, make it work for its living and see what it can do just as a jobbing camera and with me all day long. And it was yesterday, for instance, when I had a wireless mic on. then have to go into Control Center and check which input it's taking for the mic. Is it using the internal mic? Is it using the wireless mic? And then if I want to use, I've got the Hollyland mic. If I want to use the Hollyland app and then set that up for some sort of noise cancelling, I have to go back and refine the whole thing again. They seem to go about things in some very, which is I think what you were alluding to, is very complicated ways. It'd be much easier, say, if I was in the Blackmagic app, which we're going to talk about later on. Yeah, sure, it shows me that I'm using a wireless mic, but you can't be sure that iOS is picking up the wireless mic, and it's just, I found it really, that was the kind of thing that's been fun going out using the phone, because I wouldn't have found that out sitting in the studio, and it's just like, just sort these inputs out. It shouldn't be this convoluted to do that.
Yeah, notifications were one part for me that I noticed a lot of convolutions around. Like I said it in my video that when you're on the home screen, to get the notifications down, you have to go to the top left corner and drag it down. And I think what I found frustrating about that is with the Pro Max, it's such a big phone that you've got to really do hand gymnastics to get up there to pull it down. And then someone said to me, I think I was talking to some people who use iPhones quite religiously, and their point that they made to me was, if you just want to get to notifications one-handed, lock the phone screen, wake the phone screen up, and then swipe up from the bottom. I thought that's not good. That's a bad solution. That's not a feature. That's a problem that you've just found a workaround for. And it's those sorts of touches for me that I think Apple can do all this polish, right? And I think I said it in the last pod, right? It's like you're visiting a hotel where
everything's laid out neatly. Yeah.
I tweaked it a little bit to say it's almost like you're in a long-term rental where you go into someone else's home, the furniture's there, and you can move the furniture around because you're staying there for a while. But if you want to hang a TV on the wall or, knock down a wall or something like that to change the layout, you can't do it. You're stuck with the layout that you're provided, and you just have to work within those confines. That's kind of what it is, because I think, like you said earlier, they have opened up the customization a lot more. So it means that kind of the hotel analogy doesn't work as well. So I just extended it out.
Yeah, no, I see. Yes, it's, as you say, it's like an Airbnb or a long-term rent on somewhere where you try to make it as near. You're not allowed to hang a picture on the wall, but you can kind of put a picture on the mantelpiece, that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, leading on to another one of your videos that I saw, actually, I don't know if I can quickly find it. You were talking about the Tab. What was it? The Tab S11. S11.
Now you have videos too, David.
Yeah, no, I'm going to get. This is going to segue into it. Trust me, I'm not going to be purely altruistic for the whole thing. Let's just go to your channel and look at one of your videos there. It was here, was it? Don't buy the Tab. Now, I admit I haven't watched this one, but you were talking there about why it wasn't worth buying the Ultra, and that is kind of something I wanted to talk about in relation to the iPad as well, because since we've last recorded, of course, we've had the M5 drop, which was the MacBook Pros, just the M5s, no Maxes or Ultras, M5 Vision Pro. So I shouldn't laugh when I say that. Somebody's got to buy it, right? Somebody's got to buy it. Apparently corporates are buying it. But anyway, that's another conversation. But then equally the iPad. Now, I kind of thought, would I get views out of it? And I thought it's almost disingenuous because nothing has changed. It's got the M5 chip in it. And that's it. And as much as there's been changes with the OS on an iPad recently, I'm still not using it enough. I guess at my heart, I'm kind of a Mac user more than anything. But it's just, I wanted to leave that conversation on. I mean, first of all, why did you say that you shouldn't buy that Tab?
Well,
Ultra?
I think a part of it came down from the fact that I got given the Tab S11 from Samsung for a review period. And as I was using it, I started realizing that, this is actually like the perfect tablet form factor. And if you're getting a tablet, I wouldn't go for the Ultra because the Ultra's too big. And whilst there's been hardware changes, it hasn't fundamentally changed what a big tablet does, which is try and act as a laptop replacement. And that's about it. Whereas with the smaller one, I felt like the form factor kind of suited what a tablet is always meant to be, which is a portable productivity, lightweight, easy to carry around. and great for entertainment handheld.
Yep,
Not try and replace. It's like the bridge between a phone and a laptop. It's not trying to replace either of them. It's that middle ground companion device. And I thought the Ultra kind of doesn't make a lot of sense if as a tablet, because it's really just a big screen and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I totally buy into that, because having spent so much time on location over the last 6 weeks, I routinely put the iPad mini in my rucksack now. My rucksack is full of gear anyway. And the only reason I would take the iPad Pro with me is so I could meaningfully edit. And yes, I have got Final Cut on there, but it's still clunky. It's not quite as smooth as it is on a Mac. So it's kind of, well, why bother trying to make my life hell and do a part edit on the iPad and take a really heavy, it's the same weight as a MacBook Air. So why take that with me and give myself even more weight to carry around all day? Just take the mini. It's great for notes. I can use it off screen just to see what I'm, want to talk about. I can use it on the train to look at videos and listen to podcasts, whatever I want to do. And it makes more sense. And as you say, it's not trying to, I love the iPad Pro when I get to use it, and I don't use it enough. And that is why I didn't go out, even for clicks, I didn't go and buy. I didn't think I had anything new to say about it. And then from there, it kind of leads something that definitely trips over in both our worlds, these yearly updates. Apple is hell-bent on giving us yearly updates, M5, M6. And it's, we've had proof that the jump from M3 to M5 was meaningful. But there's a couple of iterations which, so is it just for investors? Why? Why are we? The public aren't going to go out buying new devices every year, are they?
No, I have this real theory that Apple don't intend for people to upgrade their tablets every year, but when they build a new chip, it's like if someone's going to buy a new iPad after 10 years or something like that, they're going to want to access the latest chip or the newest one. So rather than pitch it as some sort of upgrade cycle for everyone to latch onto, it's just the new chip's now in the design. And we're not changing the design, we're just putting the new chip in there. I kind of can understand it. It's almost like they're just swapping it out. It's like, when people build PCs, right? They build a PC.
Yeah.
And in 5 years' time, the chip that's in the PC is obsolete. They just take the case in, upgrade the chip, take the case home. I almost feel like that's what they're doing here, is just got the case, they've got the case sorted, and just the next year the new chip comes in and they just put in the new chip in there. And if there's any hardware upgrades, they will make them, but there's not really anything they need to do. So they're just like, let's just chuck the M5 in there. The thing that's confusing, and I don't know if this was part of your plan to talk about, but the M5 Vision Pro, what a waste of time. What an absolute waste of time and waste of opportunity not to do anything different with it. I don't get it.
Agreed. They're almost flogging a dead horse with that one. I still stand by the fact that what they did with the technology and the way they've moved. And I think Samsung's version is due out now.
It's out in the US. Yeah.
I know I know visually it looks very similar. I did hear, I think it was there was a podcast I was listening to, and they were fairly unbiased. So, look, I think it was on Mac Rumors podcast, actually. Dan Barbera was saying, I haven't unboxed it yet. I want to get into it, the Samsung one it is. But he said, it feels less premium maybe, but possibly more wearable because it's not as heavy. So I think we all agree that the wearables market is very much in a state of flux and change. These aren't the finished products. This isn't where we're going to end up. But as you say, with the Vision Pro, there were so many flaws with it. And I guess to some degree, it was always going to be a vanity project. They knew it wasn't going to be a high demand unit seller. But yeah, to come out with, again, just the chip replacement and heavier, because they put some tungsten weights in the back now to help counterbalance it. So it's fractionally heavier. And the one complaint everybody had was it was too heavy from the get-go anyway. It just seems, rather than giving us something fresh, something that, I don't know, something that would really make you want to go and swap or buy. I can't believe many people that got the original Vision Pro are going to trade up. I just can't see that happening. I did hear it's very big in the corporate world, apparently, because for meetings it's ever so good, but
they don't take trade-ins for the old one anyway.
No.
So if you wanted to get the M5, you have to lay out another $3,500, which it means you've spent $7,000 on the same product twice.
Exactly. And I know there's always going to be somebody out there that does do it, but it just doesn't seem worth it to me. So, that's why this recent round of M5 updates just didn't light my fire at all. I haven't made a video about them. I, I,
Mm.
I look at channels that do, and I think, well, why are people watching it? There's nothing to talk. That's just me being jaded, but I'm just thinking,
Apple content will always draw the crowd. And if you're a channel that aligns in that way, the crowd will come to it. But it just comes down to the fact is, am I willing to have people listen to me talk about it? And I contemplated it for a brief moment. I watched Alex's video and I was like, maybe I need to compare DeX with iPad OS 26.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was like, well, I don't need an M5 for that. Like, because iPad OS 26 is on the M4.
Yeah. And
exactly. These M series chips are crazy capable already.
As you know, because you're using one, in your Mac.
I'm using one. Do they really, or do we really need the whole thing for me is Apple. I don't know how else to describe it. It's not a money grab. It's short of a money grab, but it's just them knowing that they don't have to do much to get people to buy things. And
footfall through the door, clicks on the website, purchases. Yeah.
The other part is too, and this kind of ties in a little bit to just general technology. If you go and ask someone to name the chip that's in their tech product, no, they're not going to do that.
No, of course not. Yeah. Most people don't know what OS they're on. We get hung up on all this, but most people just want to pick up the phone, switch it on, use it, right?
Like someone will say, "Oh, Intel." No, no, it's not Intel. But because they could walk into a tech shop and ask for the latest iPad, and they'll probably just be sold an iPad Air because they're a middle-aged couple who don't know any better, and the salesperson will just tell them what's on the shelf.
I know someone who's just done exactly that.
Is this the latest M5? They're not going to ask that. So I think what Apple's strategy is, we'll just put the latest one in there, package it as a new one.
So there's always something new.
Will be out there. It's always something new. People won't ask any questions. Done.
Just very briefly, iOS 26.2 beta came out. I think the only major change is you get a slider for liquid glass for the amount of liquid glass you want, if that's your bag, and live translation is coming to the EU. I suppose that's until the EU decide that it's some sort of knock-in, force Apple to take it away. Anyway, for the time being, live translation. I think those are the two. I think those are the two headlines with 26.2 beta. If I've undersold anything, please do let me know. But just going on from there, it was a big premiere night on Apple TV last night. And I think we're heading with this. Pluribus was the premiere night, and Apple TV went down. There was streaming issues with music, and I think news, and certainly Apple TV. And I know you and I were briefly chatting at the start. Apple TV has become, I remember years ago, I had an Apple box years back and didn't really use it. And I kept thinking, what's this little private world of Apple TV and Apple TV originals? I mean, now I could not be more into it. If you're in the UK, you'll understand my pain point. I've just renewed my Sky subscription, and I'm thinking, why? I never watch anything on Sky. Maybe a little bit of Formula One every now and again. And I don't even think they've got the Ashes. I don't think they've got live coverage of the Ashes. So I'm thinking, why have I got Sky? And everything I watch is through Apple TV. There's so many. I mean, Shrinking's about to come back. The Morning Show, Blackbirds.
Shrinking is great.
Bad Sisters. Yeah, it goes on. They're a full-blown movie company now. The Studio, have you watched that?
I started The Studio, but I just found it was too intense. A lot of swearing, a lot of graphical descriptions of things, because that's the world that they're in, right? And people just being over the top with their analogies. And my wife and I watched it together, and she's like, I can't do this. I'm like,
now, see, I loved it, but I can get it. It's a Marmite. But one area where I know you and I absolutely align is in slow horses.
Oh, what? Sorry, I'm just plugging in my MacBook.
I was going to say, I've just looked down and I thought Daniel's right in your face there.
Sorry.
We can see his clean paws and everything. Slow horses. I know that you're a massive fan of it, and I think I'm guilty of becoming a fanboy of slow horses, to the point where season 5 ended and I've gone back to watching season 1 now.
We binge-watched the entire 4 seasons and then went, oh no, we've got to wait now for the next one. You're like,
when a series is that good, it really, and I know they're already filming, but then my brain, which is a weird place to live in at times, went off at this odd little tangent. And I thought, well, I watched all these lovely series from the States, and I thought, damn, Slow Horses is shot in London. It can't be that hard to find where they shoot. So over the last couple of weeks, Well, so the video that will go out next week was the first time I've gone. I found, if you're a Slow Horses fan and you know where Slough House is, and I know Daniel does, the Italian restaurant underneath is actually a genuine restaurant. It's been there since 1950 something, and I've got a picture of it here on my phone to try and find. And I went up and found where Slough House is. The alleyway that they run down or try and run up when they're getting into the back door of Slough House, I found that. It's all there. The only thing that's not real is where Jackson Lamb eats his noodles. That is not a noodle shop. That is a cafe. They simply put up, there you go. I don't know if you'll be able to see. There you go. That is the restaurant. That is Slough House. Yeah. So there you go. That is where I was yesterday. So it's all around the Barbican in London. And where Roddy did his famous dance down the steps going to work that morning, that's the Golden Lane Estate, which is a big block of flats. And I found the steps and I've taken pictures. I was like a kid in a candy store over these last couple of days. I'm absolutely knackered. I did so much walking. And then I found this great bagel shop. I walked in with my kit bag and cameras and stuff. And he said, "So you part of the crew?" And I said, "What? You part of the Slow Horses?" Because I said, "I wish. No, I'm just a hacker, just like trying to reset."
That was your perfect chance to say, yeah. Sorry, where's Gary Oldham? I've just got to hook his mic set up. That was a perfect opportunity, David.
Hey, at least I looked professional. Even if my content's crap, I looked professional. And he made me a lovely bagel. He was a really nice guy because, just a little side story. I've been up twice this week because Monday went up and I completely fouled up on the shooting. So I went back up again later in the week. But I bought a bottle of water that first time. And I said, "Look, can I just leave this here? I want to go and shoot. I don't want to carry the water with me." Fine. By the time I was going back, he'd shut. He came to find me and went into a Tesco's to buy me a bottle of water just to say, "Sorry, we shut." But and I said, "That's so." And then he took some thumbnail shots for me as well. So had a great time in London.
While we're talking about English icons like Gary Oldham, last weekend I went to Oasis. They played here in Australia, and I went to see the Oasis. Oh, they are so good. Like how they can have not played together for so long and just come back and blitzed live shows the way they have. They were crisp. Their songs, their set list was on point. Everyone had a great time. It was like a very surreal sound. I was like, I can't believe I'm standing here watching both Noel and Liam Gallagher on stage, not punching each other, and then like hugging each other. You know, singing all the big hits, Cigarettes and Alcohol, Roll With It, Rock and Roll Star, Live Forever, Don't Look Back in Anger. Played them all, and it was unbelievable.
Wasn't my bag at all. I mean, clearly it was, I lived through the 90s when the whole Britpop thing and that era was very vibrant. I know my daughter's been to see them a couple of times this year through the record label.
Oh, really?
Yeah, freebies. She said the gig was great, just the amount of energy. And she's too young to have lived through it, so she didn't understand all the hype that was going on around Oasis when they were, first around. But live gigs, hard to beat, right?
Mm.
I mentioned it earlier on. I've made a conscious decision recently just to begin using the iPhone. I don't really want to sit here in the studio talking about, is there a minor scratch on it? Is there a micro scratch on the screen? Is it, what's the battery? I thought, just get out and use. I've spent £1,200 on this thing. Just go and use it. And I've learned so much, had so much fun. And for not one moment am I saying you couldn't do everything I've done with your great phone as well. But all I'm saying is I've had so much fun in just going out and using it as my main camera. And interesting, I've gone back 360 degrees. During the summer, I made a point of taking the Canon with me everywhere. I thought, I want to prove that I can use a camera away from the studio, out in daylight, out on location. And then I realised I've only got one lens for that camera. I'm shooting everything on a 24mm. So I'm kind of limited into what new aspects I can bring to photography. And I've been lucky. I've been sent some lenses for the iPhone. So I've now got an array of 3 lenses that I can use here, plus some macros. And I just thought, I've got, for the kind of work I'm doing, which is uploading to Instagram or uploading to YouTube, this can more than do the job for me. Will the Canon get a better result? Yeah. But have I got more flexibility with the iPhone and the kit I've now built? I bought myself a nice gimbal. I've got a RS3 Mini, DJI RS3 Mini. So I've got a pretty professional gimbal. And I've been using the Blackmagic app, which we'll go on to talk about in a minute. But I've just had so much fun using the phone rather than talking about what it might not have, where it could be, just using the bloody thing. And it's given me some new energy and enthusiasm for just what I'm lucky enough to do and what I've got sitting here in my hand. It's just, I don't know. I just really bought into it. It all started with that Slow Horses thing. I thought, let's go and find out. And I've just been around London shooting all day long. And it's
the point you make about the Canon and it only having one lens. We put the unit we're in now, we just put up for lease.
Right.
And when the real estate agent needed photos of the apartment, and I started taking them with my camera. I went around and I started taking them with my camera, and I realized, like, I need to actually get a wider shot here.
Right, you need a fisheye, yeah.
I needed the ultra wide. So then I just
Yep.
switched to taking it in Expert RAW on my S25 Ultra, and the shots were perfect for what I needed. And you know what else was quite interesting? Is I've been using AI a lot. Not so much. Well, I used a combination of both the object removal tool on Samsung, which is excellent. Like, I removed all this junk in my backyard that is going to not be there when they come and do open homes.
So you want to make it look good on the advert.
I couldn't be bothered moving it. So I removed it, and it was restored what was there underneath the junk. And I was like, this is amazing. Yep. But I've also been using it in the new place to visualize, like, if we've been stuck for ideas,
furniture,
right?
Yeah.
I'll go into Gemini and I'll say, make this room look Pinterest worthy, or add a desk in the corner, or add the vinyl flooring if it's just concrete flooring, and it'll just completely do it. And then you just keep adding prompts and change the image, and you get a visual of what something might look like. Now, this is what the AI can sort of help from a personal level. Obviously, that kills professional industry. Like, if you want to have someone design something for you, like a graphic designer design a sketch of what your house might look like, that's a problem. But if you're just in your own home and you're never going to engage with those people, or you just need ideas for interior design, it's actually really good and useful, which is scary at the same time.
We all know on a limited time, we're all going to be replaced at some point. What if YouTube, this is something that came in mind a while back, if YouTube could decide to create creators, so why would and offer those to advertisers? Oh, you want somebody in the form of David or of Daniel, right? We can create a creator for you that will be absolutely perfect in delivery. Why would YouTube, why would they then offer our services? They can keep all the money for themselves. It was kind of a rabbit hole I was going down, thinking, we're all expendable at some point here.
Just continuing that digging of rabbit holes. My assistant coach in my son's football team this year.
For a moment there, I thought you were going to say you had an assistant. I thought life really is moving for you.
It would be very nice. Not there yet. Maybe at 100,000. But no, he runs he builds automation programs using AI. And he was telling me he's in the process of building 6 AI influencers to just grab products from the internet and just smash them with ads on Instagram with affiliate links. Yeah. And he goes, they'll just promote products using AI-made videos with AI-made influencers with the affiliate links, and he just cleans up the revenue from the affiliates and done. That's it. I'm like, that is crazy. Scary, because you can model it off a real person, or you can just completely invent someone altogether.
That's the point. They can just say, we like styles to be made in the form of, in the style of. And that's it. That's the only part. And we're out there. They've got all the learning that they need. They can learn off of all of our content, right? So they can model it as close as they want on any of us.
And I guess that it's appealing for people to utilize as a business model, because, they can't maybe feel comfortable in front of a camera themselves, or they're not maybe as resource driven when it comes to cameras and equipment for videos and all that sort of stuff. And I understand it's an entry point for them to be able to do stuff that they maybe want to do. But when you're creating 6 and you're sending these little influencers out into the wild with sponsored targeted ads through Instagram, that's wild.
And that's the future.
And obviously, if you're early enough to that train, you'll look like a genius. But the problem is it's going to be so diluted soon that every single video you swipe through on Instagram is going to be an AI influencer. I know. And I don't know how long that's going to be, but I'm not exactly excited at that prospect.
I don't know if the model of YouTube has been unique for so long. And, I know it's still the platform that I spend so much time on. It's got everything that I need, whether it's geeking out about slow horses, finding how to use the new gimbal that I bought. It's just got everything that I need. It's all there. It's a brilliant platform. But whether this is the pivotal moment of change, with AI squeezing and leaning in on absolutely every area, none of us are safe. Whatever we happen to be doing for a living, I guess tradespeople are pretty safe for the time being. If you're a plumber, plasterer, painter, I guess you're reasonably safe. But anybody that's in a creative space, as you said a moment ago, graphic designer, somebody that could design logos before, all those years of talent, skill, learning, creativity. You know,
Enter a couple of prompts and out you get a logo. Like,
exactly. And I caught up with a little bit with what Adobe announced at their event last week before. And again, I mean, they are so heavily into AI. I'm probably the Adobe product is where I use AI most, because I take all of my photos into Lightroom and I do all of the editing in there. And they've got really powerful removal tools. So I don't use it on the phone. If I need to get rid of something, I get rid of everything in Lightroom. But it was interesting because I thought when you began talking about the pictures for your home, you were going to go to the ultra wide. And that leads me back to with the iPhone. I've got this 110-degree wide angle lens now that I screw onto the main camera. And I'll put a shot up when I'm editing this. But I was up near the Shard, and I would never have got that shot. I would never have thought, certainly with the Canon. But even the fact now that I'm up in London so much and just walking around and looking up, so much of the world is above us. And then when you use a wide angle lens and look up, the whole thing, just the skyscraper of any great capital city just looks brilliant, doesn't it?
And yeah, that's why you need a phone that has multiple cameras on it. And that's why it was so perplexing with the iPhone Air didn't add an ultra wide or a secondary camera to it.
I'm there now. I can see that.
Secondary camera gives you that just confidence that you can capture things around you in more than one way.
Yep.
And with the Edge, because I've just actually put my SIM card back in the Edge because I'm having trouble with the Ultra with One UI 8.5 and updates.
So your main phone's the Ultra at the moment, isn't it? So it's the Ultra.
Main phone, no, main phone is the Fold 7.
Oh, still, yeah.
Yeah, I can't. No matter how bad the battery life, that thing is going down with me. It is just so fun to use. I'm not over it.
Another app that we know is available on Android, I'm just trying to put it up, and you said that Sam yours used it, was Blackmagic. Now, I've just started using the Blackmagic app properly, and it was finally getting used to that was where I was at near. That's just around the corner from Slough House, funny enough. But now I've kind of got used to all these various settings and where I needed to be with obviously we talked about the wireless mics and so on. But now I think what's made it is the ND filters. Now I can shoot log properly, and get exposure nailed into exactly where I want to be. Damn, that Blackmagic app is good. It is so good.
Since they've added, because the S25 Ultra shoots in 8K, so they've added the 8K support, which I think was earlier in the year, but they also have now added Samsung's log into the Blackmagic app on Samsung. And he was just telling me that he's now going to use, for all his top-down shots, he's going to use Blackmagic 8K log to shoot everything, because he just goes, for me, the 8K gives you that crispness or that detail resolution, so when you crop in, you don't lose anything. And then it also now allows for Open Gate too in the Blackmagic app. So there's a lot that the Android app or the Samsung Blackmagic version of the app has now got. I feel like a lot of it's getting ready for the S26, which apparently is going to be a very video-centric phone. So I think that's sort of the starting point.
Well done for mentioning it. I'm just going to apologize. I think we're not going to talk a lot about YouTube because there wasn't really much to say, but we're on a really interesting thread here. I meant to mention to you and start off as a conversation that we must be very deep into the Samsung build up to January now with what's coming.
Rumors are it's been delayed.
Really? Why?
I'm not sure exactly, no official word, but there was a thing about maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago that Samsung have cancelled the next Edge, the S26 Edge. They cancelled it, apparently, because of sales. But again, it's just a very early rumor. It could just be they're delaying that as well. But there's also the rumors were that they just threw out the product line and wanted to simplify it. They had the rumors they were doing the Pro, the Edge, and the Ultra, and apparently they cancelled the Pro, they cancelled the Edge, and they've gone back to building the Plus and just the base model standard alongside the Ultra. So to do that, they then needed more time, so they delayed it by a month or so. Obviously, nothing's official, but probably now I think is around the time that you'll see rumors and leaks starting, because of the fact that there'll be a lot of internal meetings and delegations presenting the product to network partners and all that sort of fun stuff that used to go on when I worked there. So you'll probably see more information coming out, and most of it's likely to be accurate because of the timings of when this information gets shared internally. So
you think it's a slightly later launch than January, possibly this year?
I do. I don't think it'll be January at all. I think it'll be after Jan.
But you say it's very video-centric, with the rumours that you're hearing.
With the chip that has been announced, the Snapdragon, they spoke about support for the APV video codec, which Samsung will likely support. I've seen some code in the S25 Ultra string lines that said APV codec toggle on or off or something. So I feel like that's definitely probably going to come, and that's probably likely to go against the ProRes side of things. Like it's meant to be that like for like when it comes to quality. So I think that's the focus. And obviously I think AI is going to be a big driver as well, because it just seems to be the thing at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting talking codecs. Again, the benefit of being out using the thing in the real world. And, I've made a point of saying, look, I'm by no means an expert in this. I'm learning, and hopefully part of the appeal of the videos is I'm learning with people watching me as we go along, and they can tell me things. They might learn something from me. But I used the ProRes RAW when I was up in Borough Market. I used the ProRes RAW codec, and it was really good for stationary shots. But of course, I knew it, and I was really annoyed at myself. They tell you there's no stabilization, and even if you don't get the option to turn stabilization on in Blackmagic. That codec, although it's really good, just has no camera stabilization to it whatsoever. So again, with what you're telling me about Samsung there, that ProRes RAW is great on a tripod for stationary shots, fantastic. But the minute so yesterday, for instance, all day long, I was in 422 HQ as the codec because the stabilization there, and in the Blackmagic app and with the gimbal, hopefully I've got some nice footage. But you'll know, obviously you shot a lot when you were in London and on your Europe tour last year. I've dumped everything onto a hard drive today, but until I sit down and begin to look at it, I won't know if I'm in frame properly. I won't know if the audio picked up on the wireless mic. I was shooting in log. I think the color profile is going to look okay because, as you know, in Blackmagic, you can overlay a lot on there so you can kind of get a visual of what you're looking at. But when you're shooting out on location, the pressure is high. You've got that one chance to get it right.
Because you don't want to be out there retaking and reshooting, and you feel almost embarrassed a little bit too if you're out there on location shooting. You want to just get it done and get out of the way.
Yeah.
And then it's such a long trip to make that by the time you get home, like, I don't want to have to go and do that all again. And I know you spoke about it off air.
I did exactly that. So on Monday this week, I was up on the Slow Horses set, came back, looked at it and thought, that is just crap. I can't put that out. But I learned so much from it because I realized all the mistakes I made. So I decided to go back up on Thursday and spent the whole day up there shooting. And now I'm pretty certain that I've told a good story. I've got all the points. I've done my job. Whether it does well or not, who knows? All I know is I've done the best. I feel I've shot the best I can shoot now, as long as all that footage is there. But it's just that pressure of shooting on location, which I'm loving learning. I've got so much respect for people to do that for a living, of course. And now I'm just about to go on my biggest journey. Distance-wise, it's not far. I'm flying to Edinburgh. But it means I've got 2 or 3 days up there when I've got one chance to get all of that content shot.
Fun.
Yeah, I can't wait. I cannot wait. It's all been kind of leading up to that. Everything was settled with the sponsors over the weekend. So it's for these lenses. I'm going to go up shooting and just get as much as I can shot up there. And everybody tells me it's the most amazing city. So I'm really looking forward to that trip. So I'm flying up, staying a couple of nights in Airbnb and just spending day and night shooting. You know what it's like. And then again, I don't know what kit to take me. I think I'll take a MacBook Air because I can at least open Final Cut on there and just have a look at what I've shot each day. So I think I'll probably take the MacBook Air and the iPad Mini with me as
take your
devices.
MacBook Pro. Just take it. Just take it. It's like, it's heavy, but it as far as portable form factor goes, like that's the most beefiest thing you'll be able to do, take with you to get stuff done. And you'll wish you took it because you're like, if I have a MacBook Pro right now, I could probably edit this video whilst I'm here, or at least get the edit started. And then by the time you're home, that's what I've done with the MacBook Pro. It's like heavy, but if I'm at the airport lounge or something, I'll be able to just open up the MacBook, tap away for an hour, and I could be quarter of the way through the video, and the MacBook hasn't laid a sweat.
Well, I thought, again, you probably made a good point there, because part of what I thought I could do is each night just kind of cobble together a very rough timeline to check, okay, I need to go and reshoot that bit. At least I'm still there. Rather than getting home and thinking, oh, shit, I've completely missed that one. I've got no comeback now. So, maybe I could just put that in the luggage, because I think I'm going to have my camera bag with me and luggage with me. So maybe I could just put the MacBook Pro in there. Yeah, you probably talked me into that one, I reckon.
See, I'm thinking this is off topic, but with the
Go on then.
studio,
Mm.
I'm building two zones. I'm building my editing zone and I'm building my productivity zone. The editing zone is just going to be for editing only, and then the productivity one is for Samsung DeX and my laptop to plug in and stuff like that. But with the editing zone, I'm thinking instead of having the MacBook be part of the editing zone, I want the MacBook to be like my roaming editor so that I can do it in the lounge room and I don't have to constantly unplug, and I just edit purely off SSDs. So then the MacBook becomes that roaming editor, and then I get a Mac Studio for the desk. Thoughts?
I'm thinking of a Mac Studio as well. I'm getting to the point of pushing my Mac Mini. At times, the higher codecs that I'm using now, it does the job, but I've noticed the odd time it's just struggling a little bit. So yeah, I'm behind you with the idea of having the Mac Studio on the desk. That is your desk setup, doesn't move, does its job, but then using your... So I was going to ask earlier on, you're obviously getting on okay with the MacBook Pro, and you're kind of finding the editing, it's doing everything you want, it's quick, it's everything you'd hoped for.
Yeah, the thing I really love about what it does is just the fact that, again, it's when I use it away from being plugged in. The sheer fact that it doesn't slow down my timeline on Premiere Pro, and the battery will get me through an edit or get me through it will get me through an edit. I'll get through the edit and I could do another one if I needed to. It's just that good for that purpose that I feel like this could be the perfect on the go around the house. If I wanted to sit at the kitchen table and edit and do that.
A few things.
And then when I want to lock in, have a bigger screen with the monitor, then I have the Mac Studio and I don't have to take the laptop, plug that in. I just have to plug in my SSD and fire up Premiere Pro and away I go.
Well, you're moving into that world now where the benefit of having a dedicated space set up, I'm lucky here, I walk in and everything is just left, ready for me to walk in, sit down and work. And it makes it so seamless.
Let's talk about my plans. Maybe we'll talk about YouTube Studio.
Let's go on. Why not? Go plans. Go on. Let's round out on that.
I've bought, it's all packed in. Hold on a second.
So Daniel, as I said, is moving very soon into this dedicated studio space, and he's going to have everything set up just how he wants it. That's the plan.
So I'm trying to plan it around like having things set up from a home automation standpoint. So I've got some smart power points that I'm going to plug my lights into. And then I've got the downlight that's going to be above me is also going to be connected via Zigbee to my SmartThings hub. And on each desk, I'm going to have a little Samsung SmartThings button. And this button is going to have things programmed to it. So if I want to edit, I'm going to press the button and the overhead light will turn on. The monitor's going to turn on because the monitor's going to... Oh, I haven't got the blind thing yet. Although I have seen a motorized...
You've got daylight in there then, have you? You've got daylight in the studio.
It's got plenty of daylight. Like it is thrust in daylight. But I do have a blockout blind, but it's just manual.
Yeah, that's what I've got here, yeah.
Press this, the downlight turns on, the monitor turns on, and maybe some light music might start playing. But then if I double press it and it's filming time, my studio lights are going to go on and the overhead light will turn off and the monitors will turn off. Like I'm just going to have it programmed. I haven't quite figured out all of the programming yet, but because everything can just stay in its place, I don't have to pack it all down. I've bought wheels for my lights so I can move them around the room. Like automate, everything's going to be automated to stuff. Why is that not focusing? Like this.
There we go. You want it, yep.
Cannot wait. I'm very excited to just sort of have that set up. And I've also got a dedicated top-down section. The room that I'm moving into, it had like an old sort of cupboard.
Which for your style is hugely important, isn't it?
It's pretty much 50% of what I do. So it's got this old wardrobe style cupboard with like a shelf about 3/4 of the way up the wall. And then I had an idea. I was like, what if I put a camera mount underneath the shelf and stuck a camera there and then put a desk underneath that. And then I've got a permanent top-down studio where I just open the doors, put a chair in and I hit record. And I thought, man, genius.
Living the life. Living the life. What are the chances that the next podcast will be from your new studio?
It will be. The next 2 weeks' time we'll be in there. The next podcast will be 1,000% from my new studio. It might not be completely finished and set up, but it's painted. It'll have my acoustic wood paneling on there. All my lights will be in there. So, yeah, it'll be in there 100%.
Cannot wait.
Yeah, because then my desk as well, I've got this nice big Flexi Spot desk. It's a sponsored desk.
I'm sitting in one of their chairs right now.
There we go. Hasn't been set up yet. So that's a much bigger desk. It's like 1,400.
So you've got a big sit-stand desk, have you?
1,400 by 750. So almost a meter, 750 mil, 75 centimeters if people use the metric system, which means the desk is going to be much deeper. Because at the moment, the desk I'm on is a 40 centimeter desk. Oh. It's a disaster. This desk is so small.
Too small. Yeah.
Too small. So it's
yeah, I've got so many. Every time I get a sponsor comes to about a sit-stand desk, I haven't found one yet, and I'm not going to go begging. Even though I read the email and think I'd actually do that for nothing, but I really want one. I can't sell myself, but I really want a sit-stand desk. I really want a sit-stand desk.
I've got Desky, who's an Australian sit-stand desk company, who have also reached out to me. So I'm gonna have desks falling out of the sky.
If there's a spare one, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll just say, hey, look, have you seen David Lewis from D-Talk and Tech? He needs one.
Yeah, I mean, you know what it's like? You read some of those sponsor emails, you think, I really want to work with you, but I can't give it away. I'm tempted. I've been dancing that kind of dance this week, but anyway.
Sometimes you just got to rip the Band-Aid off and do the thing and sell your soul to the devil for not very much money if you really want the product.
Oh, the next one that comes through, maybe I'll do it then. I really want one. I do. It would look great in the studio. It would work so well. And I love the idea of standing up, being able to work bit and edit standing up and that whole thing. I love that idea. So I know it's like, well, when I say light on YouTube stuff, there was no YouTube stuff. I think we had a lot of other things we needed to talk about.
Yeah, definitely.
It's been a real vibe, been great energy. There's lots to go through there. So, 2 weeks' time, we'll be back with Daniel in his brand new studio space.
Can't wait.
How about that? Yeah, me too. I've been looking forward to it. And send some pictures. You're putting it together this week, over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I've got some pictures I can send through now as like progress shots, but the next week, once it's all in.
Can I include any of those in the pod? Are those okay to put in the pod?
Yeah, sure. I'll send them in.
Okay. I'll put a couple of pictures up of how it's going on. Nice one. Right, we will be back in a couple of weeks' time. Probably the three of us, I think, in a couple of weeks' time, and seeing how Daniel's getting on with his life of studio pleasure. I'm happy for you, mate. Happy for you.
Thank you, mate.
We'll see you all very soon. Cheers. See you soon. Cheers. Bye.
Ciao.